Have you ever, been doing something and you're good at it, right? And and people recognize your work, right? They recognize the quality. They recognize, the care and the concern and the thoughtfulness and the effort and the time that you put in on whatever it is that you may be doing, right? But when it comes time to be acknowledged about the work that you put in, it's funny how a lot of times the very people that actually did the work, they get left out. They don't get acknowledged. But it's the other people that, that get acknowledged. The people that may serve, or the people that, they brought the plates or the dishes or the cups, or the people that sweep and mop and all that kind of stuff, right? All these people, the person that is officiating or pronouncing or does emceeing, all these people get acknowledged, except for the person that actually really put in the work, did all the cooking, did all the buying the food, did all this kind of stuff. So when I was younger, right, I used to, I used to see my grandmother cook certain dishes, and I would wonder, how does she, cook certain stuff, and it tastes so good, and I'd be trying to taste all the different ingredients, right? And so as I got older, right, and I started watching her, and I started watching how she would do stuff, and all the chopping and the cutting and the preparation, the soaking or the rubbing and the seasoning. And so there was a process that she went through when she cooked certain dishes, right? And so then my level of appreciation grew, because at first I just, I enjoyed the way it tasted. It tastes so good and it smells so good and everything was just so wonderful to my senses, right? I just wanted to taste it. Grandma, when is it gonna be done? Can I eat yet? Is it ready? All of that, right? But once I started watching her and I started seeing all the intricate details and all the things that she put into it, it gave me a different perspective and appreciation for what I was eating, right? And so then I wanted to watch more, because now I was learning. See, before I was just eating. I was just tasting. Feel good to my mouth, feel good to my stomach. You know what I'm saying? It made me happy and giggly, and I was all full of joy. I was full, right? But I didn't have appreciation for what she was doing, how she was doing it, for the time that she took to do it, how long it took to make. I didn't know none of that. But once I started watching her, and the more I watched her, the more I learned about the process. The more I gleaned from her and saw how she did things, I had a greater awareness of all that she put into it, right? And so it just helped my level of understanding just that much more. Let's just say, for example, you make bikes. You put together bicycles, right? And you're really good at it. You can put a bike together really quick, but you do it with quality. You do it with care. You rarely get somebody bringing the bike back with problems. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes time to, not everybody can see your bike. Oh, your bike is tight. That's nice. Man, it rolls really good. It looks really good. And everybody's giving you compliments on your bike. Man, they're acknowledging the crankshaft, they're acknowledging the tires, the rims, they're acknowledging the bike frame, how light it is, and they're acknowledging all these things about the bike. They're acknowledging the dude that owns the bike. Oh man, you got a dope bike, man. Where you get that from? I need to get something like that. Woo, right? But yet, the person that actually made the bike, that actually put the bike together, made sure it was straight, they hardly ever get any kind of acknowledgement. But that's the way of the world, right? When me or you, we do something and we've perfected it, we do it to where, can't nobody do it like us. But when it comes time for acknowledgement, what happens is everybody else gets acknowledged, everybody else gets recognized, everybody else, has their name called. They have their day of fame. But for those of us that actually put in the work, built the thing, designed the thing, engineered the thing, put it together, and made sure that it was functioning and working properly, we hardly ever get any kind of acknowledgement. But again, that's how the world does. But you know it, and I know it. You know what I'm saying? It's unfortunate, but that really is truly how the world is. You know what I'm saying? What do you do when you don't get the acknowledgement? What do you do when you put all this hard work in, you put all this effort in, you didn't stayed up long nights, you didn't lost sleep, you've missed a few meals because you wanted to get this done, you wanted to get it accomplished, you wanted to get it taken care of. What do you do when you don't get the acknowledgement you feel you deserve? Be thankful that he chose you and that he chose me, because he didn't have to choose us. He did not have to invite us into the background. He didn't have to invite us and show us the process, but he chose us, and he did. So that's what we do. We be thankful because he chose us. And the beautiful thing about it is we all can be chosen. He wants to show all of us the process, but some of us are just not willing to go. We're just not willing to sit and watch how he does. We're not willing to fall to the background. We're not willing to, actually learn and glean, but we want to do it our way and not his way. I tell you what you don't do is you don't get an attitude and decide, you want to quit and you don't want to do it no more. That's not what you don't do, right? You just got to believe and know that you will be acknowledged. You will be recognized when the time is right. You dig? And what about this perspective, right? Look at it from the perspective of someone that, they want to eat. They enjoy to eat. They enjoy eating, right? But when the help says, or when the cook says, or grandma, mama, whoever's preparing the meal says, hey, I need a hand. Can y'all please come in here and give me a hand? And then all of a sudden, everybody got something to do. Everybody gets ghosts. They don't have time to help out, right? Because they was already busy doing something. But when you say, come and get it, they will stop what they're doing. And they're going to come get that food. But when it's time to help clean up, when it's time to clear the table, when it's time to help wash the dishes, and it's time to sweep and all that kind of stuff, again, everybody got something to do. Nobody seemed to be available, right? Sometimes it's good to want to be in the background. Sometimes it's good not to always be out front, but to be the one that falls in the back so you can see how things is really done and you have a greater appreciation. You dig? And I'm going to tell you, it's nothing like being one of the ones that God says, hey, come here. I want to show you something. But he ain't telling nobody else, but he's saying it to you. And he's saying it to me. Hey, come here, son. Hey, come here, daughter. I got something I want to show you. No. Don't bring nobody with you. This is just for you. Something I want to show you. That's such a special feeling. Let me give y'all a little secret. See, behind the scenes is where you want to be, right? You want to be invited behind the closed door. You want to be invited in the back so you can actually see how things is going on. Because see, once you see how it's done and you have a greater appreciation for how it's done, then guess what? You also see the technique. You know how it's done as to where others don't. They just taste. They just get privy to the good taste and how, how savory it tastes. And they remember that taste. And they want that taste again. But they don't know how the process goes. They don't know how to make it. They have no clue. But you do. The scripture is coming out of John, the 2nd chapter, the 9th and the 10th verse. And it reads, when the ruler of the feast had tasted the water, that it was made wine, and knew not whence it was. But the servants which drew the water, they knew. The governor of the feast called the bridegroom and said unto him, not to Jesus, but unto the bridegroom, every man at the beginning doeth set forth good wine. And when men have well drank, then that which is worse. But thou hast kept the good wine until now. You dig? That's John, 2nd chapter, verse 9 and 10. So here we see, right, this is when Jesus did his first miracle, turning the water into wine, right? And Jesus did it so good, like only he can, like only knows how. Hey, you don't know how to do stuff half done, mediocre. He did it so good that the head honcho of the feast, right, of the whole wedding, stood up and said to the bridegroom, yo, man, most people put out the best wine first, right? So after you done had the best wine and you done got a little drunk, then they put out the rot gut, because you ain't gonna know no difference anyway. You drunk. He said, but you, my sir, you on the other hand, you have saved the best wine until the very end. And that's just how God does, right? God gives us his best. And even in the very end of a thing, it's still going to be his best. But what I wanted to point out, and I wanted you guys to see here, is that the man stood up. He addressed the bridegroom. He didn't address Jesus, the one who actually made the wine, the one who gave the instruction of how it should be done and what needs to be done. And then after it was done, he said, now go and take that and let them taste that. He didn't get acknowledged, even though he did the preparation, he did the instruction, he did the work, right? But how did he react, or how did he respond to not being acknowledged? He knew in his heart. You know what I'm saying? Oh, my acknowledgement will come. Trust and believe. You dig? He didn't get bent out of shape. He didn't get, mad and start talking about folks, and he wasn't crying and complaining and murmuring. They didn't recognize me. Who they think did all this? They know they didn't do it. Somebody could at least said something. That's how we do. Instead of just knowing, trusting, and believing that we did what thus saith the Lord. And our acknowledgement and our thanks and our praiseworthiness and our blessing and our favor and our anointing will come from him, not necessarily from man. But when we don't get that acknowledgement for the hard work we put in, oh man, do we be ready to blow a gasket at times. You dig? But we got to be an example at all times. And we got to let Christ be our example. You dig? So when we do something, we put our hard work, blood, sweat, and tears into something. We didn't lost sleep. We didn't spent our own money. We didn't went here and we didn't did there. We didn't made all the phone calls. We didn't made all the arrangements. We didn't put it all together, laid it out, decorated everything. And when we don't get the acknowledgement, don't get bent out of shape. Don't get upset. Just know that Jesus went through the same thing, right? And there's going to be plenty more times in our lives when we are giving our best. We are giving quality. We're giving, not shady and shisty work. We're going above and beyond. And we still won't be acknowledged. But those that are around us, those that are in our circles may be acknowledged, but you and I won't. It's in those times that we got to remember that God is going to acknowledge us. Because see, our names are written in the Lamb's Book of Life, right? And also our deeds and everything that we said is being recorded in the books. Because it says in the end, the books will be open. You know what I'm saying? The book of records, the book of deeds, on top of the Lamb's Book of Life. The books are going to be open. And it's at that time when we will be acknowledged. We will be recognized for the good that we did, for the sacrifice, right? For the preparation, for the studying, for the praying, for the giving, for the enduring, You know what I'm saying? For the intercession, for the walking with, for the tears that were shed. We will be acknowledged. We will be recognized. But in the meantime, in between time, let's be obedient and let's do what God tells us to do. Not necessarily looking for anything from man. I mean, if we get acknowledgement, that's cool. That's great. That's beautiful. And be humble when you do get it. Because it'll probably be far and few between when we do get it. But if we don't get it, you just know that you're going to get it in time. You dig? A lot of people say, man, bump that. I want my flowers now. I don't want to wait till I have to get to heaven to get my reward. I don't want to wait till I get to heaven to eat the good of the land. I want to eat the good of the land right now. I want to be living my best life right now. You dig? That's what a lot of people are saying. But if you want to live your best life, speak your best life into existence. Live your best life now as if you already have your best life. You're not waiting for it to come. You're not expecting one day. Today is the day. You dig? Today is the day when you save the best wine for last. Today is the day for you to start living as if you already have. Because you really do. We're just playing catch up. Everything God has for us, we already have it. We're just catching up to it.
We are rich.
So this is what we need to start telling ourselves. This is what we need to start remembering when the times come, when the hard times come, when the acknowledgement doesn't come, when the praise doesn't come, when all the hard work goes, all the acknowledgement and the glory and the thanks for everything goes to someone else and not to us. Just remember, it's written down. It's being recorded, and we will be acknowledged one way or the other. You dig? Many times we think we all alone, you know what I'm saying? And we'll be like, God, for real? I mean, for real, I don't have no support. I don't have no help. But a lot of times God will send you support, right? Whether it's for a specific reason, a season, or a lifetime. He'll send you support just to let you know and I know that he does see us and he does acknowledge us. You dig? So this is your man Levon. Just want to come on real quick, man, and give y'all that word. You feel me? That when we're doing what God has called us to do, and we put in all the time, all the effort, all the work, and we haven't really had any help or very minimal help, don't get discouraged. Don't get depressed. Don't get upset and bent out of shape and pissed off if you don't get your just desserts and acknowledgement when you think you should get them. Because you will. And God sees everything. You dig? This is your man Levon. Be blessed on this Testify Tuesday. Share in the comments down below what you'd like to testify on this Tuesday about of how God has worked things out in your favor. How God has told you that he recognizes you, even if people don't. You dig? Remember Lamella E, love, uplift, motivate, inspire, learn, laugh, encourage, and enlighten. See you in my next video. Please subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell notification so you're always notified whenever I upload content. Be blessed today.